first question comes from Tim Gallagher in Kansas, and it's a question about septic systems, especially domestic septic systems. So you got a house, you got a toilet going out to a leaching field, a septic drain field. So the way this works is you go to the toilet, you flush it, it goes into a concrete tank. The concrete tank has microbes in it, and the microbes break down the solids, and out the top then comes a smelly liquid. Okay. This isn't gray water. Okay. It's not the stuff that comes from your washing machine or your washing dishes. This is known as black water. And it goes into this series of pipes, usually put, 3 to 4 feet in the ground, with a bunch of gravel around them. And it's called a leach field. And it kind of goes into your ground there.
Well, are
So
there holes in the pipe where it leaks out?
yeah. The pipe is called leaky pipe, leaky on purpose, not leaky because there's a mistake, and that black water then leaks out into the ground, and gradually it's taken up by roots of plants and turned into vegetation. So the question is, there's several, so we'll go through them really quickly. Number one, can I graze dwarf goats on it? I think probably the best use of a septic field is absolutely grazing animals. That puts a biological barrier, between your septic effluent and whatever you're eating. Number two, then, so grazing. We graze over our septic field. In fact, grass always grows greener over the septic field. If I could put a septic field under my whole farm, I would, because man, does grass grow under the septic field. So yeah, grazing is a great thing on top. All right, next one is garden for human consumption. Could you put a garden on it? That I'm a lot more concerned about, because now you're actually eating exactly the plant whose roots are right in that human effluent. So, and remember, this is not composted. So you've got a little more risk there, because it's not composted. The question then is, well, what if you don't till, and you maybe make a raised bed? Look, if you've got a raised bed, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet over a septic field, I would think you wouldn't have any problem there. No roots, even carrots, nothing's going to go down into the strata, where your plants are. Forage crops, absolutely. Hay, again, grazing. Fruit trees. The problem with trees on a septic field, and normally anybody installing a septic field, part of the agreement or the license to do it is that it will be kept tree free, because tree roots can grow down into it. They go a lot deeper than grasses and garden vegetables and things. And so you wouldn't want to have your tree roots going in and clogging up the leach field. Then you're going to have to, redig it, redo it, and it's very, very expensive. So I'm not a believer of fruit trees planted where those deep roots can go in and entangle these leach fields. Next one is effluent pumped to the top of a hill and an absorption field on a hill. What about planting downhill from the absorption field? Yeah, I see no problem with that. I mean, you look at where the green is, and outside the green line is probably fine for doing anything you want to do. And you can easily tell where that, especially in a drought, you can tell where that green, it'll just be like a green square. You can see the boundaries of where this is moving. And then, is there any difference, this based on rock and pipe versus a chamber systems, other type of systems? I'm not an aficionado on the different kinds of water-based effluent systems. I do know that if you have 2 buried tanks and you have one and then it goes into another one, that often that can help to digest it a lot more with microbes. So people that do living systems where they're using a manufactured wetland, like with, cattails and daylilies and irises and things to, to use up the effluent, like in a, in a bladder based, uh, system where you kind of dig a shallow pan, you put a bladder in, you fill that with a medium, and then you grow plants on it to use up the nutrients. Those systems generally use two holding tanks instead of just one septic tank. You go into a second one just to make sure that there aren't any pieces that are flowing into your, into your wetland system.